All right, Panther fans, how's everybody doing today? So, surprise, huh? You didn't expect to see these two old men crawling out here on a, what is it, Thursday afternoon at 2 o'clock? Stu tricked me, huh? Stu tricked me. He says, hey, let's talk on, we got to talk about, because we've got a sponsor, we got something we got to talk about. And 30 seconds in, he's like, let's do a Panther video. Because Stu is ready to go. Look, and I don't blame him, right? Like this is nothing is going as planned. Nothing is going as planned. But Stu has, I believe, he could correct me if I'm wrong. I think Stu has one of those speeches where he's gonna try to get the fan base um, not quite pumped up, but not exactly in to the point where we're getting now, where destitute is we're not quite destitute yet. But this is a rough go. This is a rough go what we've got going on this year. So, Stu, what you got for me, buddy?
Well, I wanted to make the video basically because all of us diehard Panther fans, we've gone through this before. And last few weeks have been really rough. We've been basically doom and gloom and trade this one and fire Maurice. And I mean, it's basically we're grasping at straws to right the ship.
Right.
It's not going to happen overnight. But I saw something this morning that encouraged me. And that was a guy by the name of Anton Letsky. I'm pronouncing it incorrectly.
It's hard, Lefty, but
Yeah.
Even that doesn't sound right.
It turns out that this kid grew up with Barkov. So, like, the first thing I thought of, because we all know something's off with Barkov. You know, maybe he's got something physical going on, but I think we kind of sort of know that losing his best friend on the team really affected him emotionally. So I'm putting two and two together when I'm reading this thing because maybe we got a gift from God. And maybe this kid will come in. I don't know if he's going to play with Barkov, but, you know, just a short little read that I had this morning was that he knows this kid since they're kids.
Since they're kids.
So what I'm hoping is Maurice throws this kid out there with Barkov and they light it up and Barkov's reborn and re-energized and whatever you want to call it and gets his head out of his ass and starts playing like the player that we know he can be.
Right.
So that was that. Then I saw we're getting Gudis back tonight. We're getting Ekblad back tonight. Oh, boy. And then Bob's going to be in net. So, we got a couple of really tough games here. Tonight, we got the Canadians. Yeah. Tomorrow night, we go to Carolina. Always a fun place to go to.
That's nice.
And then on Sunday, on New Year's, we got the Rangers here. And then we got Arizona on the 3rd. But, let's concentrate on these 3 games.
On those 3 games.
So, no doubt, no reason why we can't take it to the Canadians. We're at home.
Right.
And beat them. We've had a few days off. Bob's had a few days off. Granted, it's going to be his, 9th game, 9 out of the last 10 games.
Yeah, but he's had the time off.
But he's had a few days to rest. So, let's take the one tonight. The game tomorrow night is the one that I'm worried about because Carolina's on a freaking roll right now. In fact, I told you guys, Carolina, I think Carolina and Boston, but I'm kind of leaning like Carolina might surprise everybody and end up going to the finals. People might disagree with me, whatever. The way Boston's playing, and they're running away with it. But wilder things have happened. I'm also rooting for Carolina because if Carolina gets in the finals, yours truly will be at the finals.
That's correct.
I'll leave it at that. It's, basically not what you know, it's who you know.
Right.
But getting back to this new, I don't really know a lot about him as a player. So if you guys have some intel for us on Anton left chi is how
left chi. Yeah,
Lefty.
if you just say left chi, it's not quite right, but it's passable. Um, During the off season, when I was making my videos about who's coming, who's going, who might make the team, there were multiple people in the comments that said this dude's he's gonna make the team, he's gonna be on the top line. Whenever I was talking about lines, people would say this kid belongs next to Barkov. So um, when we don't exactly have anything to lose, because we're what 9 points out. I don't know if it got worse overnight. Anything could happen. Actually, that was yeah. So the point is that you look at those three games and you look at the roster and you look at where we are and you look at the standings, and I mean even the Montreal game is a game where we have to win. You know, the margin for error is so slim. Now, I did some math, talked about it a little bit yesterday, where if you want to get to 102 points, basically we got to go 3-1-1 the rest of the way. But to do that, you actually have to win those 3 games in a row. And if we can't pull this off, if we can't, I mean, let's face it, it's going to be a minor miracle if this team comes back and makes the playoffs, right? You know, the hope would be that if Lefty can stay up, have success, even if he doesn't lead us to the playoffs, if he can finally be the answer next to Barkov, to your point, that would answer one huge question, because I know we're going to get Duclair back, but you don't know what kind of shape he's going to be in. By the time he comes back, he could be just like Huberdeau was when he came back, which he's playing the last 25, 30 games on a team that they already know they're not making the playoffs, right? So we're not really going to see him go full tilt until next year, because, when Huberdeau came back, he had bulked up, changed his game a little bit. I don't suppose that's going to be the same thing with Duclair, because, his game is speed. So that might be one thing, if this kid can come up, and he's 27 too, so he's not like a kid. I mean, he's 27 years old, so he either is ready to go or not ready to go. You know what I mean? This would be his prime years, whatever he's going to be, 27, 28, 29. This is it. So it's not a wait and see type of thing. We didn't have any space for anybody to make the team at the beginning of the year. Now with Hornquist, we've got a little bit of room to play with. And then the other thing there is Ekblad. Like we both kind of cringed, right? But we do need some answers as to what in the hell who is this guy now? Is he still hurt, or is this the new Ekblad? These are things we need to know moving forward.
Well, we've all had speculation as to how the Huberdeau trade affected Barkov.
Right.
All right. We know about, the physical stuff that's happened to him, and okay. But more importantly, there's rumors that he's in the middle of a custody battle over a child, blah, blah, blah. I've always said, and I pointed to Bob in Bob's press conference where he said he compartmentalizes. Like when he had his child,
Yeah.
He separated the hockey from the family. We always got to remember that these guys are human beings, and they are affected by normal human stuff.
Right.
So, the fact that it was pointed out that Barkov has known this guy forever, that they grew up together.
Right.
I just started thinking to myself, could this be the answer? Because nothing else has worked, guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Barkov does not look like a superstar. And again, some of that might be attributable to physical ailments going on, but, the head. It's like a goalie. When the goalie gets in his zone, man, it's not that he's doing anything, magically or physically any better.
Mm-hmm.
He's just got his head on right, and he's in the zone like, I'm going to stop every puck. It's like the team last year with the confidence level that they could win every game. And again, 29 comeback wins.
Right.
So let's hope that this this kid injects Barkov with some life and some fire and passion, and I would love to see them light it up tonight. As far as Ekblad goes, jury's not out yet. Jury is.
Right.
I mean, yeah, we'll have to hold judgment on that. Let's see where we are tomorrow when we do our review. I
Right.
think a big addition is getting Gudis back. We've really
Yes.
missed him.
Yes.
For all the good, for all the reasons, but Mahura and Gudis were in the top 5 in the league of most effective
Right.
defensive pairings.
Right. Right. Right.
And I really think Mahura missed Gudis. So I'm looking for a strong game from him. And of course, Bob's been playing great. So,
Right. So we should be good there.
no early goals.
Right.
They got to bring it. Obviously, I always say they got to bring it, and they've been pretty good about bringing it this year in the beginning. But no goals in the first 10 minutes, Bob.
Oh,
No
please, right.
fluky 30 seconds into the game. You let up a wrist shot or a slap shot that you should have had, but you misjudged.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Um,
And the only disappointing thing with it all is that they did send Denisenko down.
yeah.
I guess the theory being that Maurice isn't going to want to play 2 kids at the same time because Dalpe and Tierney stayed up. I'm not quite sure what the lineup is going to look like tonight. There's I don't even bother trying to predict lines anymore because every day it's like half hour before face off, somebody gets sick, somebody gets hurt. It's just been a crazy year that way. But I did feel like Denisenko earned the right to kind of stay up. And we'll have to see what that decision was all about. I assume Dalpe and Tierney they probably would have to pass through waivers, I believe, to go back down, and Denisenko probably doesn't, so that might have had something to do with it.
Is Tierney still hurt?
I don't know if he's still hurt, but what I saw was that Denisenko went down and Dalpe and Tierney stayed with the team. So we'll have to see how that all shakes out. And we're 9 points out, 47 games left. And
Yeah, and I'll just tell you my philosophy on that. Let's not even discuss points.
right,
Let's not discuss
right,
where we are in the standings, how many points we are, but let's just see a team
right,
that comes to play,
right,
that plays a good game. We're not going to win all of them. We're not going to lose all of them, but at least the effort's there and the passion
right.
and whatnot. And then, let's talk 10 more games down the road and see where we're at. There's no reason to talk about. I mean,
Well, no,
again,
not
we
at this
still got a
point.
lot of hockey left, and who knows? Who knows? Right now, I don't see us as a playoff team,
Right,
but things could change,
right,
as we know.
right. Yep.
So
Well, we'll see if we go
one
on. I
game at a
mean,
time, guys. This is a game we should win.
yes, yeah, no doubt. Um, I want to start seeing something that, on one hand, like you said, we don't need to look at the standings and all that. I don't necessarily disagree with that. On the other hand, looking forward, I'm wanting to look at things as saying, all right, well, who's our guys that we're building upon to try to kind of right the ship, next year if this continues to go, in the manner it is. So getting Left G up, that's a good idea. I really wish Denisenko could have stayed and just kept developing. He looked like there was more meat on that bone, you know.
And he might get another opportunity, Eric. But the thing for
Right,
me is kickstarting Barkov and getting him going,
right,
because
right.
let's face it, we don't have Barkov doing his thing.
Yeah.
We're in doo doo.
It's funny.
So
Yesterday I put out a video and I think it was Trey said that on. He was driving home from Pensacola, and the recap for the Game 6 loss to Tampa from a couple of years ago, came up next on his feed in YouTube, and he listened to it, and he said I needed to listen to it. There's some relevant things. And what's funny, remember, this is after Game 6 against Tampa, right? That we lost. One of the things I said was that my concern from what I was seeing was that the furthest that the Barkov, Huberdeau, Ekblad core was ever going to get was just barely squeaking by at one round of the playoffs. And check that one off. Check that one off, because at this point, whatever this team is going to be, obviously Huberdeau's not here, and we have to start looking at some fresh blood. And if this kid Lefsey can be something, you never know. You never know how guys are going to react when they get called up. Surprised that age 27 from, I guess he's played overseas or whatnot. I don't really know the kid's complete story, but I know that when we got him, we had a lot of excited people in the comments. So I hope your theory is correct.
Well, again, the thing that's really good is they've played together before.
Right.
Forget about them growing up as kids and knowing each other. They've played before.
Now, is Maurice going to put them together? I mean,
that's the thing. I'm assuming, but one does not want to assume that the natural order of things would be to put them together.
Right.
So I'm fully expecting that.
Yeah.
If they're not together, then why even bring them up?
Right.
The whole purpose of this experiment is to get Sasha Barkov going. And I guess we'll have to see what happens tonight, and we'll talk about it in the review tomorrow. Yep. But yeah, I'm hoping my theory is right. So. And I'm not saying this kid has to score 3 goals or whatnot, but it would be nice to see some cohesion, chemistry between those two. I'm assuming that Verhaeghe would be the third person on that line.
Right.
And then, then that leads to having Lundell and Reinhardt and Luosterainen together.
Right. And then
Bennett, Kachuk, and whoever it was, Colin White. I don't know.
Well, but when Duke comes back, that would be Duke.
Yeah.
You would, and then if you
we still got some time.
Right.
There's still plenty of games to play before the Duke comes back. So.
Yeah,
right now it's again, take it one game at a time. Win tonight, and go into Carolina. Who's probably one of the hottest teams, if not the hottest team in the league right now. We always end up getting that scenario. And in Carolina, where we have not, we don't have a really good track record in Carolina, so. That's going to be the test, but I mean, there's no reason why we shouldn't beat this team 5-1 or.
Well, we're going to need we need this tonight because it didn't even hit me until now. The game is tomorrow, so it's a back-to-back on a travel, which means Spencer Knight's going to be a net off of his previous game. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Well, you never know with Maurice. I said, Bob's had 4 days off.
Right.
So
but then we play against. I guess you could play Bob both games, and then you'd have to play Knight Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Against the rain, it's so weird, man. I mean, home, and then the next day we're on the road, and then we come back, and it's Sunday. It's home. That's not the first time we've done that this year.
Yeah, it's just crazy. The schedule is how they and we're the team that has to travel the longest.
Right. It's like the other week we were at Boston. We came home to play New Jersey. Then a couple days later, we're at New Jersey. It's like you couldn't do.
At least it's Carolina, which is like an hour flight. So it's not like we're traveling 3 and 4 hours to get there and back. So anyway,
okay,
that's all I got.
All right, guys. We'll see you tonight. With the live stream now, we're gonna have a special thing that we're doing at the end of the live streams because usually by the time the live stream is over, we've got 40 or 50 people there. So we're gonna have somebody. We have a special guest coming on at the end of the live stream. So normally what happens is I go do the recap. Kyle takes over. So we're going to have somebody else there. Kyle's still going to be there, but somebody else is going to be there as well while I go do the recap. And then when I come back, we'll close up. So you'll have you have a special treat for about 10 or 15 minutes. We'll see how you guys like it. And then tomorrow, the live stream. Boy, somebody's got their chainsaw going outside. I've lost focus. Who's chaining and sawing? What are they cutting down? Anyway, tomorrow we're gonna have a special guest on the pregame part of the live stream. So I believe that's going to start a half hour earlier than it normally would. So just watch community posts, watch the notifications, because I will create the streams in time for you guys to know what's going on. Other than that, we'll see you guys in a few hours. Boy, do we need 2 points.